Expedition is the highest value scarab in the game. Polished scarabs right here only cost 6 chaos orbs each, but if you simply look for a few words and throw your explosions down, you get the big skulls on the sticks, you're going to be making 24 chaos profit for every single scarab that you use. And it's not even counting the tens of exalts I've made off of stacked decks, fractured items, random currency, and all the black scythe and damning currencies that you'll be able to use within their shops. That 24 chaos profit per scarab is just Ostrogali, exotic coinage, burial medallions, and logbooks, all of which are so easy to sell. I did it all last night on my stream, twitch.tv/tripolarbear. In today's video, we're going to talk about 3 things. First is how you do your expeditions properly. Second is how exactly I set up my farms and how much money that I made. And last is whether or not you should use grand design for your farm. But if you like the video, go ahead and subscribe to let me know you want more content just like this. To do expeditions properly in your maps, you should only be looking for a few words: logbooks, quantity, stacked decks, currency. When you find your expedition, take a quick jog around it, looking for these words and any mods that brick your build, which will normally be outlined in yellow for the immunities. Then just start with logbooks and go to quantity, stacked decks, currency, making sure to unearth the large skulls on the sticks because those will drop your logbooks. And that about wraps up how you should be doing your expeditions simply. If you want, you can get a little more complicated by trying to get fractured items alongside armor, jewelry, and weapon remnants too. But it's up to you how much more complicated you make it, as I, for this testing, made it about as simple as I could, because that's the way I like it. Now, let's talk about how much I've made from my polished and gilded scarabs. When I started this farm, I asked myself 2 questions. Is grand design pack size going to be worth playing around? And how much effort should you really be putting into your expedition scarabs? Should you just go in there and kind of blast some open, or should you do the whole rushing to the boss, then clearing the whole map so that you can get as many quantity adding altars as possible? So I did many sets of 50 scarabs for expedition using a few different strategies. The very first strategy I did was 50 polished on corrupted map. For all of the tests here, I did corrupted maps because I can just filter for mods and it adds a bunch more quantity. So we did a corrupted strand or mesa. We did no boss rushing for the altars, right? I did not rush to the boss, try to kill them to get better altars and clear around. I did the expedition when I encountered it, and I did not use grand design for the first test. And we got a pretty decent chunk of change. In 50 maps with the polished scarab, with no spurging around, I made 23 chaos per map profit. The first one, pretty good. I'd be happy with that, right? I buy a 6C scarab. I don't invest anything other than Atlas points on the tree. I don't spurg around trying to find a good map layout to rush to the boss, then clear the map, then come back to, right? I did strand. I found an expedition and I did it. And then I did the map. And we made 23C profit on the scarabs alone, including only logbooks and only reroll currencies. And I do not, by the way, I do not price scrap metal because I can't sell these for the life of me. I don't know. No one wants scrap metal, whatever. Okay, so scrap metal is just free. If you use them, then whatever. For the next one, we did 50 polished on City Square. I ran to the boss first. Then I ran around the map, getting all of the quantity altars that I could by clearing the rest of it. Then we ran back to the expedition, and I used quantity sentinels, and this was with the grand design tree, while also using Fortune Favors the Brave on my map device. This is about as spurgy as we got for the polished. For all of that spurging around, we did get an extra 6 logbooks, but I got a little bit more burials here. Even though we got less Ostrogali, we got more of the burial medallions. So paying for the fortune favors, you know, giving up a lot of the good sentinel rewards to use quantity sentinels, how much more did we get with the grand design tree? Polished with not much spurging, we went from 23 to 24. We got an extra 1 chaos on the polished scarabs. So this is where I was starting to think that the grand design stuff might be a little bit of a bait. The quant sentinels, they didn't seem that crazy. So I was really itching to just get another set of 50 in there because this is not very convincing. An extra 1C on average for all of this, even though we did get more logbooks, we did get pretty lucky on our logbooks. 7 sun logbooks out of 20 is pretty wild. We got lots of Danning rewards there, right? It is a little bit lucky there. So I wanted to go ahead and do some gilded. Then I did 50 gilded with Promenade and Mesa. We did no bossing first, but we used Quant Sentinels, Grand Design, and Fortune Favors. And for this one, I didn't calculate the profits because this one was really bad. This was very bad. We only got 10 logbooks in 50 maps. We got a little bit unlucky there. We got way less Ostrogali, about the same exotic coin and burial, and we got way more rogs, right? We have 83 scrap metal compared to the 29 and the 40 that we got previously. So this one I didn't even price. This one was bad. And I came to the conclusion that the Sentinels, I feel, are very non-impactful. I'm not gonna lie. The Quant Sentinels feel extremely weak. And this, in my mind, is because of 2 reasons. Number 1, for the Quantity Sentinels, you are missing out on so many rewards when you're using Quant Sentinels. Sentinel rewards right now are so crazy powerful. But for the very last test, I used a bunch of really nice Sentinels. I got my good rewards out there, and you get so many recombinators, right? Jewelry recombinators, 15C each right now. Weapon recombinators, 8 or 9. This is all really, really good stuff. And then you get even more Sentinels as well. So giving that up for quantity, just quant, is a really hard ask, first of all. And second of all, when you do empowered expedition, that is annoying unless you've been super paying attention to mods. So I would add like double block, and hits cannot be crits sometimes. And normally that's a non-issue because I just have enough damage where somehow my crit build, it doesn't matter that I'm not critting that much or at all. And if they have a lot of block, then I just eat through it with my Vol Lightning Strikes and we just blast them away. But when you do empowered Sentinels, they get so much more powerful that unless you're playing some actually crazy like 100 plus, 200 plus X build, you're going to struggle on these. They're just going to take a long time, right? They have so much extra life. They have way more life than like even like I swear, dude, even like some of the Uber bosses, these these Sentinels, they just boost and empower your expedition monsters way too much. So I wanted to stop doing the Quant Sentinels as I did not think that was too worth it. So then we did 50 gilded city squares. I have 2 sets here. So the first set, I ran to the bosses first. We did not use Quant Sentinels anymore. This was with the Grand Design and Fortune Favors for a lot of extra pack size, right? We got the Quantity Altars with the pack size, but without the Sentinels. And we got lots of Ostrogali, a whole crap ton of exotic coinage. We got a nice amount of burials and some scrap metals. And we got 29 logbooks in total. A lot of these were Black Scythe, and that is normal. I don't think I got unbelievably lucky here. In 29 logbooks, we got 6 Suns, we got 6 of the bad ones, and about 17 Black Scythes, which I think is fairly typical for the logbook farming. And in total, with this strat, we made 26C profit on every single one of our scarabs. So we made a little bit more than the polished. But that's not where a lot of extra money can come from either. You're going to get more fractured items, and now that you're not using Quantity Sentinels, you can actually get Sentinel rewards, which are going to be more valuable than adding a little bit of extra quantity to your logbooks on average, right? When you add quantity to your logbooks, it's not like it guarantees another logbook. It really doesn't. It's not that wild. When you're using just decent Sentinels, you're going to get combinators, you're going to get random currencies, you might get fractured items, etc. I think using just good Sentinel rewards outside of your expedition is much more valuable. Plus, the map you're doing has a lot of extra pack size from Grand Design, which makes your Sentinels so much easier to use in maps like this, and it makes all of the random things you get from monsters so much more plentiful. So this was with the pack size. The last one we did was 50 gilded with City Square, ran to the boss first, no Quant Sentinels. We ran the map and got as many Quant Altars as we could first, but this was a no pack size. We didn't do Grand Design, but I still did Fortune Favors. So no Grand Design pack size. I changed my tree around and got all the small nodes that were useful. We grabbed the Quant and the increased effect of mods on maps as well, so we could juice our map quantity even harder. And for this one, we ended up getting 20C profit for every scarab that we used. We got a crap ton of Ostrogali, a lot of burials, but we only got 17 logbooks for this one. Now, this one could have been a little bit unlucky on the downturn because we got so many extra currencies. If you look at this, we're up 70 Austragalis, we're down 30 exotic coinage, but we've doubled the burials that we've gotten, and we've halved the scrap metals, right? But we are 12 logbooks down. So I think the extra pack size does help a lot, and it looks like it too, right? We went from 20C profit in the gilded test to about 26 here for the other gilded test. Now, what I see here is there wasn't a particularly large increase in profit gain when you jumped from polished to gilded and you started really spurging, right? Just doing a grand design, running for bosses and whatever on polished, we made about 24C. And when we did 50 polished here with just random maps, we didn't really rush to the boss, we didn't do any of the quant alter stuff, and we did no grand design. We still on polished made about 23C profit per map, right? This has been a pretty well average, right? 23, 24, we have 26C here, and then we have 20 chaos profit here. So it means to me that a lot of this is kind of just expedition being really good. Now, you can play around expedition a little bit more aside from the notable atlas passives, but this tells me that base expedition nearly all of the time, except the one that we did that had 10 logbooks, right? That one a little bit on the lower end. This might be a fluke considering we have another 4 tests that had averaged somewhere between 20 and 23 chaos. But maybe all of mine were lucky and this was this is the one instead of 50 that was whatever, right? I'm going to assume this was the unlucky one. And I am going to take away from this, and this is what I think my conclusion is going to be for today. My conclusion for this is, while grand design is good, and while spurging for as much quant on your altars and getting as many monsters in your map as possible with grand design and fortune favors the brave, while that did give 26C profit for every scarab we used, we also got 23C, 20 to 23C just using polished and not really caring that much about clearing the entire map and trying to run to the boss first, doing like the best layout maps, like, and then we run all the way back to the expedition, right? We only lost a couple chaos doing that. And I think the time saved by not worrying so much, by not clearing your whole entire map and backtracking or like trying to squeeze every quantity altar you can find out, I think not worrying about that so much will probably make you more money in the long run. And that's exactly what I'm going to be testing on my stream next. We're gonna go through and we're gonna test a glacier type strategy, but I want to do it with expedition as well. Since the expedition scarabs make so much money so easily, I feel that I might as well find a decent map that you could just throw a rusted or polished scarab in. You can go in there, use your sentinels, do the expedition, and then just leave right away. Not only getting map progress towards your invitations and whatnot, but also you get 20C every time you use the scarab. That is really powerful, right? And that is not including, remember, a lot of things. I made, when I did all of these scarabs, I made about 46,000 greater black scythe artifacts by doing these, right? Just farming for logbooks and maps. I got 46,000 of those. That's a lot of money off of Tujin, and I used all that up this morning. And I got so many stack decks, so much chaos, so much raw currency and exalts and everything from that. So that's not even including the like artifacts that you get from these. It's not doing fractures, none of the stack decks you get when you choose stack deck or currencies, right? There's actually so much extra money in these that makes them even more than 20 some odd chaos profit per scarab. And I think that's the takeaway. The TLDR for the video is look for logbook, quantity, currency, stack deck. Take those, right? Take them first. Then make sure after you've taken some of those or you're on your way to the other ones, look for the stick with the big skull on it and put your explosion over that. Boom, explode that. And when you do that and you get all of the sticks with skulls on them and you look for those few words, you make 20C profit pretty much no matter what you do with your map aside from that. And that's it. Expedition is still the best scarab, still probably one of the easier ways you can make money, especially outside of just spamming your sentinels. I think this is a nice addition if you can get a decent map that has nice density right at the start and doesn't put your expedition somewhere really bad. I'm thinking beach, but we're going to test that out on stream. So I'll see you guys there. Anyways, like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.